Hi, this is Brian and welcome back to Cinematech, your Southern California home integration specialist. Today we're finishing up a job out here in Southern California and we're going to be unboxing the brand new Runco LS HB projector. This particular projector comes with a Whitney anamorphic lens for 2:3:5 aspect ratio. We're going to be putting this projector up on a daylight JKP screen, which is an 11.5 feet wide screen. And that's why we're using the LS HB projector, specifically because it has 2700 lumens. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the unboxing. As with all Runco projectors, they come packed fairly nicely. Everything's done up. We've got the nice accessory kit here we can get into in a second, but I think what everybody really wants to see is the actual projector itself. Now, if anybody's familiar with Runco projectors, specifically the LightStyle series, it's in the same configuration as the LS3 and the LS5 projectors. So it's got that nice gloss black kind of look to it. Set this down here. Keep the foam in here really intact nicely. Here's the rack for here's the anamorphic lens, the Whitney anamorphic lens. And here's the shelf that the anamorphic lens will be attached to. Set that off to the side right here. Set this back. As with all Runco projectors, everything is boxed really nicely. So it's not cumbersome at all. Go ahead and put this back on here and we can bring the projector up right now. All right, here it is. Let's go ahead and unpack it here. I want to be as delicate as possible. Keep some of this wrapping. Well, maybe not. Okay. All right, as you can see, this comes with a flat black paneling. It's really nice. You've got all the controls up on the top, although we won't be using the controls because it'll all be done with the remote, obviously. Runco. You can see the lens right here. It comes protected. This is the original lens, and we'll go ahead and put the Whitney anamorphic lens on it once we get it up and running. You can see that really nicely. We'll cover this up for now. We don't want to get any dust or anything on it. We'll come around to the back. Now the back, I'm going to have to go ahead and take the cover off. So we'll get into the accessories a little bit here. Like all Runco products, you got your remote control, you got your power. It comes with a nice HDMI. Comes with some component cables as well, which we won't be using component. We want to go straight HDMI and all of this. Now the difference between the Runco, the LS HB and the LS5, they're doing a couple different things with it. They're opening up the aperture inside the projector, so they're getting a lot of extra brightness out of it. And we don't have the dynamic iris on it. But with the 2700 lumens, you can do screens up to 12, 13 feet wide and get a nice bright poppy image. Now this is a 1080p DLP projector, single chip, so you're going to get a nice full contrast ratio. It's 10,000:1 contrast ratio, and it's going to get real detailed. And the nice thing about the single chip projectors is you get a nice solid edge-to-edge sharpness. DLPs tend to be some of the sharpest projectors out there compared to LCD and the SXRD or the Lighthouse projectors. Now we're going to go ahead and look at some of the controls in the back of the projector. With every Runco projector, all the controls are hidden with a nice, it's a nice back panel plate that goes on, and it comes off with the help of a screwdriver. We just a couple screws in here, and the plate pops off. As you can see on the back, we've got all the traditional hookups that any projector traditionally has. We've got two HDMI hookups right here. We've got RS-232, and that is used for a lot of times for remote control, so it works a little bit better than IR remote controls. 12-volt trigger. Using the 12-volt trigger sometimes for screens. If they have masking screens and whatnot, you can use the 12-volt trigger for that. IR input, so instead of using the traditional little light piece that kind of sticks to the top of the IR, you can actually do the IR input, so it works a little bit more seamlessly. S video, composite video, and of course you have the component and SCART video here, as well as your RGB. So you pretty much have all the different hookups you can possibly need for a projector. And over here, right here, this is where you go ahead and change the light bulb on the projector. And this little back piece works on really nice. Kind of pops in right here, cleans up, couple screws down here, we tighten it up, and we're good to go. Let's go ahead and look at the front again, get it in more detail if you haven't seen it. There's the front of the projector. Take off the lens cover. Down here is an IR, it's just covered with a little plastic, which we'll go ahead and pull off once we're put the projector up. But the other nice thing about the Runco is that it comes with a really, really solid lens, so you get really good edge sharpness. Let's go ahead and look at how the anamorphic lens is attached to the projector. We're gonna flip it upside down and put it front. The anamorphic lens comes with a nice plate. Now this plate goes ahead, slips into the two legs. The back side comes with a couple screws. Then we'll go ahead and pull out the Whitney anamorphic lens. Now this Whitney lens stays fixed in front of the stock lens on the projector, unlike most traditional anamorphic lenses that are on a glide and they slide across depending on the aspect ratio of the movie. It's a little cheaper for this anamorphic lens, but it still shows a great image, and we're going to go ahead and show you that right now.